Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And everybody ends up sort of coming together through it, which is also great.
Hi guys,
Rachel.
how are you?
Hi, Rach.
Hi. So to start with a show like this, I was not expecting to end up crying over Owen Wilson, which was my first mistake. But I did, and I kept finding myself like whenever I would run out of time and couldn't watch it, I was like, wait, no, but I want to see the rest of the series and how the story plays out. So for you guys, when you are, executive producing something and you're looking at stories and trying to figure out what story is going to captivate an audience in that way, what for you was the one thing about Stick that you just knew was the ticket to like having an audience really want to see a character like Stick kind of survive?
For me, it started with Owen's character, Price, who has plenty of problems when the show starts, and had fallen off the horse and has yet to get up. And it's this idea that I think it's a second chance for him. And there's a Ben Hogan quote, which is, "The most important shot in golf is the next one." And I love stories that not just what has happened to a character, but how a character will respond. And I really think that that's a great quality that this show possesses. And all these characters who come together and this sort of found family to go on this journey, and each of them working through each of their issues.
Yeah, and I come from a family where my dad loved golf and loved watching golf, and I thought golf was the most boring thing on this planet. But like shows like this made me a little sad because I was like, oh, he would have loved this because there's the Who in it, there's golf, it's Owen Wilson, like it is funny, but it has a lot of heart. When you guys like are making something that I don't think people search for shows that like it's gonna bring people together, but like, do you get excited when someone like me who's like, I don't like golf, but I liked this show, kind of find something to enjoy in a project like this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the magic of entertainment. If we can, I don't know if your father's still alive or not, but I could tell, I understood that. But the fact is, you could call your brother or sister who lived that life with you and, shared that relationship to dad where he was interested in something. And this is the kind of show that we're hoping you watch the show and you leave the show and you actually want to call your dad or you want to call your brother or you want to call your sister and share some of the emotion you felt in watching it and the connectivity it had to your own life and the hope you can find in these characters who are really working through adverse situations in their own life, but overcoming them and finding a path. It's not about winning in one specific moment. It's really about the journey and putting together the milestones that make you feel good about yourself and give you the confidence to go out in the world and to share it with others. And our at least goal in this and so a lot of the content that I know I focus on is to give people a takeaway. Is like you can watch Ugly Betty and feel good about yourself and acceptance. You can watch Jane the Virgin and feel good about yourself and acceptance. And you can watch Stick and go out into the world and feel good about yourself and the relationships that may not be genetically created, but are there for amplification and joy and validation. And I feel like we have so many of those kind of relationships that play out in the series.
I 100% agree. For my last big thing, I'll just say two things. One, can't believe you guys made me not like Timothy Olyphant. I thought that was like physically impossible. Because I have a standee of Cobb Vanth.
You're gonna love him.
Listen, I have Cobb Vanth standee in my living room, and I was watching this show, and I would just look up at it and be like, "Man, I can't look at you right now." I'm mad. And also, that cold open should have you both in jail. That cold open made me cry. So thank you guys so much for talking with me, and I can't wait for everyone else to get to see Stick.
That's awesome. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi, guys. How are
Good
you?
to see you, Rachel. Hey, how are you?
So to start, I didn't expect to cry over a show about golf, and yet here I was. And so I wanted to ask you guys, the dynamic between Zero and Santi is so important in a show like this because even when, there are lies and there's things going on behind the back, you have to understand that these two characters do love each other. What for you guys was the most fun about getting to play that dynamic so that we do understand their feelings even when it is kind of like the darker moments that they go through?
That's a cool question.
That's a good question.
You threw it to me.
Yeah.
Wow. I I think that relationship is a really beautiful relationship to get to witness as an audience and to get to explore. I think like these are two young people who really connect with each other in a deeply honest and really intimate, emotional way. And I think really bring out a lot in each other that they haven't really explored yet, and they crack each other open in a lot of really interesting ways. So I think, part of that growth and part of that journey is there are going to be bumps in the road, there are going to be struggles. And I think I feel like we set a pretty strong foundation in terms of their fairly immediate, connection.
Yeah.
And then it just deepens and deepens so that when they do face those obstacles, we know that the anchor is still there. And
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like they start off connecting so strongly that even when they sort of break each other's hearts and say the things that they're not supposed to say and they know that they shouldn't say, but say anyways to break each other's hearts on purpose, like, because they know that that'll elicit that reaction. They also kind of know that, like, we're all we've got, really. And we know each other in a very immediate and sort of like easy, accessible way. And it all felt so easy. And that's why I think you can always recover from those harsh moments because of that initial connection and that sort of, I'm forgetting the word I'm looking for, but yeah,
I think
that foundation,
right?
Yeah,
you can trust that sort of that foundation is going to be there.
It's always there.
Yeah, even when you've hit an obstacle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for our last thing I do want to ask is you guys get to have some great moments with Owen Wilson and Mark Maron because they are just two old dudes trying their best.
Yeah.
And I really love how funny it ends up being.
Yeah.
Did you guys have fun kind of getting to like be the Gen Z to the like they're Gen X, but she gets called or Zero calls him a boomer.
Yeah.
But like get to push back a little at that and get to work in that humor.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And everybody ends up sort of coming together through it, which is also great.
Yeah, it's fun like doing a scene with Lilli or Santi with Zero and Zero saying something that only Santi can get because it's vernacular that only this generation uses.
Yeah.
And you just see Mitz go, what? and
Owen's like, I don't.
Yeah, and we give each other the eye like especially when Zero gets introduced to the sort of the family for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And you say a great line about the dog, and Elena goes, "No, and everyone's like, "What?" And I'm just like looking at Zero, like, this is gonna be funny. Yeah, this is just gonna happen. Yeah, that secret is really nice to have between us two.
Totally.
Well, I love the show. Didn't expect to not like Timothy Olyphant in something, and then yet here I was.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for talking with me, and I can't wait for everyone else to get to see.
So good
glad
to see
you liked
again.
it, and so good to see you.
Bye.
See you guys.